What's up, guys? It's Christian here, and today I'll be talking about why I think the Knicks can be a dominant force in the Eastern Conference in a few years. And yes, you heard me, the New York Knicks, of all teams who have struggled for the last 6 years to even get anywhere near the playoffs, I believe can be a force, a top four seed in the Eastern Conference within the next 2 or 3 years, and I'm here to tell you why. So obviously, this past draft, we drafted Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson. Kevin Knox, everybody didn't want him because we thought that Michael Porter would have been a better pick. Obviously, I disagree with it because we don't know if Michael Porter Jr. will even play this year, and if these injuries will cause his career to be slower. He won't be the star we thought he could be, especially because he was the number one prospect going into college, and then the injury happened. But either way, Kevin Knox is a good fit for the Knicks. He's a positionless small forward. Basically, he can play anything from the 2 to the 3 to the 4 because of the handle he has. He has a underrated jump shot. Obviously, in the summer league games we saw him play, he was decently efficient. Not really hitting the three well in most games, but there was a game where he hit 5 for 7 from three. That was his third game in the summer league, and obviously that was his career high in the summer league, having 29 points. So I think the offensive game is there for him. He has the athleticism to dunk and posterize guys, as we saw. His first shot that went in ever in the NBA was a dunk off in transition off a steal. So he's definitely got the athleticism there as well. And he can rebound the ball with his size. He's very comparable to Jason Tatum, and his stats and percentages are very similar to what he was doing in college as well. So it's very similar between the two. If he turns out to be like Jason Tatum and second runner-up to the Rookie of the Year season he had, the impact he had on the Celtics, that's great for us. Obviously, I think he could be a cornerstone, maybe the best player or the second best behind Kristaps if he can keep Kristaps healthy as well. And I think this man could be an underrated pick for Rookie of the Year, averaging at a clip of maybe 16 to 20. I wouldn't be surprised if he averages 16 or higher this year, because he's going to have the keys to the team with Kristaps having the injury, and we don't even know if he'll be back. So I think he has the ability to be the Rookie of the Year. Who knows if that'll happen. So the next guy I'll be talking about is Mitchell Robinson. Obviously, he was our second round pick. He didn't go to Western Kentucky. He was originally committed, but then some scandal happened and he wasn't there. So basically, teams were really confused and worried about his ability because he hadn't really played an organized game at a high level since the McDonald's All-American game, where he did ball out, but he also missed a year of playing in college, so we didn't really know. And he didn't. All he did basically was work out and stuff, so he didn't have really. He was pretty rusty. He didn't really know what the Knicks were doing at that point. But then he gets into the first game, and he's completely better than I ever thought. I'm sure he surprised tons of Knicks fans and NBA fans even in general. Obviously, the blocking shots he has, rebounding, he can obviously do that at his size. He's just going to be, I hope, like a Clint Capella or Rudy Gobert, that type of player. And then he'll have an occasional 12 to 14 points just because he's the center and he gets offensive boards and stuff. I think he has the ability to do that, which is great for us. Honestly, some people are low on him, but I honestly think he has the ability to be the starting center for the Knicks. Once Cantor leaves, he gets a little more developed. Maybe within 2-3 years, he's a legit center for the New York Knicks, and he could help us similarly to other guys like Tyson Chandler on the Mavericks when they won the championship. He can help us and build around him to be a defensive force and get us a championship. So the next guy I have is Alonzo Trier from Arizona. Obviously, he's our two-way contract. He puts the ball in the basket. That's all I need to say about him. Obviously, he shoots a ton of shots. He shot 12 shots, 16, 13, and 8. So he definitely likes to put the ball up and score as much as he can. Obviously, that's a great thing, I think, for the Knicks because we're going to need shooting. He does need to improve his three-pointers as he only made 2 threes on double-digit tries over the whole course of summer league. So that's got to be improved if he wants to be a legit backup or even starting shooting guard for the Knicks down the line. He rebounded the ball pretty well, actually having a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds in his third game. And he can handle the ball as well. He showed a lot of promise driving to the basket as well. So I think the pieces are there. He just needs playing time in both the G League and as well as the main team. And if that happens, I think he could be a backup shooting guard to Tim Hardaway and within 2 years and be like a legit, like, decent one who can score and like lead the second group. And then another player that should have shown some promise this summer league was Frank Ntilikina. Obviously, he was our first round pick last year, and he showed a lot of promise last year with the Knicks on the defensive end. He was able to lock up starting point guards, opposing point guards pretty well, but obviously that can get developed better. The question was, does he have the offensive game? Because he doesn't really drive, doesn't have like the Kobe Bryant type mentality to go to the basket, finish over guys, finish through guys, stuff like that. He did show some of that in the summer league, which is a good sign. Hopefully that can get even more developed with Fizdale, who has a great mentality. I can't stop talking about Fizdale. He's like the ideal coach. I hope he really pans out. And this Grizzly stuff that happened with Gasol is just like a fluke. And he turned out to be like a great coach because I can see it happening. And then we have other guys like Isaiah Hicks, who was our two-way last year, Luke Cornett, and the likes of Damian Dotson. Obviously, Troy Williams played decent, but it just got released that they got rid of his contract because they needed to only have 15 guys on the roster, so they decided to get rid of him. I don't really know if I like that or not, but either way, I think Damian Dotson can help us now and in the future. Him and Alonzo Trier are the same position, so we don't know about that. We have Isaiah Hicks can help us. I think Luke Cornett, they're like very comparable, so I think that they'll both help, but either way, one of them helps at least. That's a good thing for the Knicks. Yeah, so those are really the players that shined for the Knicks specifically in the summer league. So the question is now, who starts at point guard? Because we have Trey Burke, Frank Ntilikina, and Emmanuel Mudiay. My personal preference is probably Trey Burke. I love his offensive game. He shined at the end of the year. I think he had 42 in an overtime loss to the Hornets. Obviously overtime, and it's when the Knicks didn't really care anymore. But either way, I still think he's the point guard to start this year at least. I don't think Mudiay's here for the future, just for the present. But maybe he starts, and I just hope Ntilikina develops to be our point guard for the future as well, as long as Trey Burke. They're both pretty young, so. Obviously, you have Tim Hardaway Jr. as well, who just signed a big deal the previous summer, comes from the Hawks. I like his game as well. Then we have like Courtney Lee and like Lance Thomas, and I don't know if Michael Beasley's coming back. He's funny. I hope he stays, but you know, he's not also here for the future. He hasn't had the best of careers, but he's showed more promise recently. But obviously, Enes Kanter. So there is pieces, and considering LeBron has just left for the West, there's definitely promise for the Knicks to make the playoffs, regardless of not if Porzingis plays. Because honestly, the East is not that good anymore. Even if it was good really ever in the last decade or so, there's not many teams that I could think that the Knicks are like there's only so many teams, so you can think of the Celtics and the Raptors and the Wizards even, and I mean the Bucks maybe. Like there's team like the probably 5 through 8 as usual is really up for grabs. So if Kevin Knox shines, Mitchell Robinson shines, Kristaps maybe gets back late, Hardaway Jr., you know, if they all work together, there is a possibility they can get to the playoffs this year and even maybe win a series. Who knows? I mean, literally, things can happen. You'll never know. It's just going to be that crazy of a season because the West is so loaded and the East is so like washed now because of the limited stars. So I hope and pray the Knicks make the playoffs. Please make the playoffs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me what you think in the comments and like and subscribe.